guys, on a sec, where's my manners? Bitch! Yes, it's your girl, Paige, back at it again with yet another video for you hoes. Now, you guys know I've been working on a very long video. This is said big video, and I have been working so hard to make sure that I get all of my shit together so that you guys get the best quality content that I can possibly provide. So today's video we're going to have a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes, but the person we're going to be talking about now is a person by the name of Chris Boutte, who also goes by the pseudonym of the Rewired Soul. And this is my video, The Rewired Soul, The Messiah Complex. Dun dun dun. Anyway, stay tuned for this fabulous intro that I made, and let's get straight into the drama. Hit it. Okay, so you know it would not be a Petty Paige video if I did not do my signature 60-second rundown. So for the people who don't know who Chris Boutte is, otherwise known as the Rewired Soul, I'm going to be breaking down who he is for you in 60 seconds. Chris Boutte is a 33-year-old YouTuber from Las Vegas, Nevada, America. He runs a channel on YouTube and is also an author of 3 different books. Caught in the Crossfire, a how-to guide for anyone who has been affected by a loved one's addiction. Hope, how I overcame depression and anxiety and how you can too. And Rewire your anger. Rewire your mental health. He has a son and a girlfriend. The girlfriend's full name is Tristan Gold, I believe, and she was actually the illustrator of his second book, Hope, How I Overcame Anxiety and Addiction and How You Can Too. Chris has no academic credentials as a clinician or a mental health practitioner, but he is a mental health advocate and he frequently takes part in charity and charity drives for various different mental health awareness companies, most of them with regards to addiction and recovery. His last position before giving up his job to focus on YouTube full-time in 2018 was as an alumni coordinator at the American Addiction Centers. Right, now that we know exactly who the Rewired Soul is in my 60-second rundown, let's take a good-ass, long-ass, hard-ass look into the complete and utter bullshit and dumb that has been Chris Boutte and the entire situation, the scenario. We're gonna go deep, okay? You better get ready for some deep diving. Ooh, I'm about to dive in. Ooh, I'm about to dive in. Splash. Today we are going to be talking about a person by the name of Chris Boutte, otherwise known as the Rewired Soul. Now by now, if you are an avid watcher of drama channels and drama videos, you will have seen plenty of videos either today or in the past week or so pertaining to Chris Boutte and his channel. Fabulous videos that I will try my best to link down below. Chris Boutte is his name, but his channel itself is called the Rewired Soul, and that is kind of like the alias he goes by identify on social media. His channel centers around mental health, or so that's what he likes to say. His story starts at 27 years old, where after years and years of drug and alcohol abuse, he finally decided to get sober and has been sober ever since. Take a bow, sir, you've earned it. He started his channel, which now boasts over 800 videos on YouTube, back on the 4th of January 2017. It was a less than professional setup, and he discussed mental health, his experience, and coping strategies to navigate the real world, which is actually full of triggers. Helpful little tidbits from his own personal TED Talk. Gradually, as time went on, he got himself a few hundred subscribers. Not a lot, nothing to write home about, but subscribers nonetheless. And he was consistent at producing content at a velocity that most YouTubers would find extremely difficult to keep up with. That is, unless you're Rich Lux. Wow. Eventually, he began to realise that if he spoke about influencers and YouTubers who were involved in pop culture, that a lot more people would flock to his videos. So, after a year of hard work and authenticity, he decided to take a different route. On the 17th of January 2018, he made a video called Nicole Arbor Depression Shaming. And this video was basically surrounding the whole Nicole Arbor video that was extremely popular at the beginning of 2018, which was Nicole Arbor's Depression's All in Your Head video. It was about 6 months later that the change in the Rewired Souls channel began to pick up speed. It became more about influencers and clickbaits and triggers or titles or captions such as this, or this, or even this. And after this, Chris's content in his channel pretty much started spiraling into a cesspool of drama under the guise of mental health. And I say this because whilst drawing from references in popular culture from influencers' lives, etc., he would always talk about a mental health / behavioural issue that was always bigger than the YouTuber or influencer it was that he was speaking about. And boy, did he hit the big time when he went for Trisha Paytas and Bobby Burns. Okay, so before I get into the YouTubers he's affected and all of that malarkey, you guys are probably sitting there wondering to yourself, Paige, why on earth have you called this video the Messiah Complex? And bitch, what does it mean? Well, the Messiah Complex is described as the following. The Messiah Complex, also known as the Christ Complex or Savior Complex, is a state of mind in which an individual holds a belief that they are destined to become a saviour. The term can also refer to a state of mind in which an individual believes that he or she is responsible for saving or assisting others. The term Messiah Complex is not addressed in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, DSM, and is not a clinical term nor a diagnosable disorder. I wanted to make that abundantly clear that I am not diagnosing him, I am just referring to his personality traits and or behaviour. So this is not a medical term. This is not something that a clinician will say, and I am definitely not diagnosing someone. It is just a personality trait of which I have noticed in this said individual. With that said, I believe that Chris may have a Messiah Complex. A need to save people, even if the individual themselves do not actually want to be saved. And hey, this is not necessarily a bad or negative thing. I would say that growing up that I had a Messiah Complex. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. That means, yes, I was that bitch who was coming knocking on your door, door to door bitch. And I would get so frustrated when people would just slam the door in my face, because in my head, I was like,
why would you slam the door in my face? All I'm trying to do is help you live a better life. I want you to be able to live in everlasting life after Armageddon, just like I will with Jehovah God.
Now, this is not to say that all Jehovah's Witnesses have a saviour complex. However, just like with the saviour complex, going from house to house, knocking on a door, the recipient on the other side of the door, waiting to receive their watchtower and awake, needs to be willing to receive, or at least receptive to be saved in the manner of which you want to save them. But in a few words, yes, I believe that Chris Boutte of the Rewired Soul may have a Messiah Complex. the Rewired soul waged a war against serial dating, mukbang loving, and I love you, Jesus, Trisha Paytas. Flat out telling his subscribers that Trisha Paytas shows symptoms of BPD, which I originally thought was bipolar disorder, but apparently it can also mean borderline personality disorder. Chris states multiple times in his videos and across social media that he does not diagnose people, and basically states that the reason that he made this assumption on her borderline personality disorder is all due to something very small and minute that she said in a video. Take a look.
If you're in a good mood, you're gonna love it.
Isn't that the fun part though about dating someone with like borderline personality? Like you don't know what mood they're gonna be in. Are they gonna be happy? Are they gonna be mad?
You're always in a good mood unless I piss you off.
Now, I don't know about you, bitch, but being a Trisha Paytas fan, as long as I've been a Trisha Paytas fan, I instantly knew that this was a joke. I knew that this was a joke because it's a joke that I've played on my partner several times. I tell my man that he is lucky to have a bitch like me because every single day he gets a new bitch. What are you gonna cheat for? Where are you gonna cheat for? Is there any reason to cheat? Because I can become a whole new bitch with a simple wig change, bitch. The amount of wigs I have, bitch, I could be a whole new hoe. Yeah, you ready for this, baby? Huh? You ready for it? You ready for all of this body, yaddy? Yeah? Yeah. Well, who do you want me to be today? Today I'm Barbie. I can be anything you want me to be. Yeah, what about this Blue Lagoon? Yeah, giving you poison ivy realness. Yeah, you like that? No? No, okay. What about this, huh? I could be a sexy unicorn. Nay! Nay! No? Well, what do you want then?
You know.
You want me to do cool run-ins again, don't you?
Yeah.
Let me kiss my lucky egg, man. Yeah? Can we go? Okay. Works every time. But seriously, I've made this joke so many times. And Trisha pretty much did the same joke just by mocking how quote-unquote crazy she is. It was a loving joke, a tasteless joke, possibly, but a joke nonetheless. This joke became the catalyst of over 17 videos that the Rewired soul made about Trisha Paytas alone to do with her BPD. Trisha has subtly expressed in videos that she is not happy with Chris diagnosing her or implying a diagnosis of BPD.
It is my job. Hello, my life is my job. I share my life. Specifically lately, obviously in the past year, I've been sharing my relationship and the ups and the downs because I hate when people speculate. Like, it really hurts my heart. I see more and more people make videos with their speculations and stuff, and I get it. Like, this is how I make money off of sharing my life. So they're trying to make money by speculating, which is fine. There's one in particular lately, this guy who's like a drug addict, like a recovering drug addict or something. Like, he's like sits in his apartment giving people like advice, and like his speculations are crazy, and he'll always say like, I'm, you know, not diagnosing, or I'm not a doctor, or whatever he says. So he always has disclaimers. It's like, yeah, but you're still manipulating the situation. You're manipulating it for your gain, your monetary gain too. So it's all kind of messed up when you think about it.
And this was long before the now deleted mukbang video where she really flew off the handle, or the mukbang meltdown as some people are calling it.
We do put our lives out there, but to diagnose someone, he puts in the description like Trisha has borderline personality disorder. I don't. It's messed up. It's gross. It's honestly so disgusting. Do you know what I'm saying? And he acts like his is so perfect, and like just looking at him, you know, he does judgments just by looking at our videos, and just by looking at his videos, not his physical appearance, just like looking at his videos and looking at him, and the way it's like he looks tired, he looks worn out. Like, this is coming from a drug addict. Once an addict, always an addict. That is it.
I'm in no way condoning Trisha Paytas' behavior in the mukbang meltdown. She definitely said some things that I feel was out of line, overstepped the mark, and also with the intent to hurt Chris's feelings. But I definitely do understand why she was upset. So moving on to Bobby Burns. The Bobby Burns and the Rewired Soul relationship is a relationship full of accusations and turmoil.
Hi, my name's Chris and I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And I'm here in this video to tell all of you to quit enabling Bobby Burns.
In the last 2 days or so, there have been videos from the Bobby Burns playlist, which was called The Psychology of Bobby Burns, I think, that have actually been taken down from Chris's channel. Since one of my drama friends, Elle Loves Tea, made a video, a very in-depth video, which I will definitely leave in the description box down below. When she made her video, I think it shook him to the core because he has been going on a massive deleting spree of a lot of his content on YouTube. Not just Bobby Burns' videos and the playlists involving that, but also the Emma Blackerly videos.
There's a YouTuber, the Rewired Soul, this guy, and he has made basically his channel by making videos on me. He made a video called Please Stop Enabling Bobby Burns, which has 163,000 views. And in this video, he basically says, no, not basically, he actually says, you'd have to be a f***ing idiot to believe that I wasn't under the influence of when I wrecked my car. And is basically saying that I am, because he's an ex-drug addict, he knows what drug addicts look like. And obviously I'm a drug addict. Hey Nate, am I a drug addict? Nope. No, I like to smoke weed.
But unfortunately for me, there was a lot of people out there who have had their foot on Chris's neck, and I was able to retrieve one important video that I wanted to discuss in regards to the relationship between the Rewired Soul and Bobby Burns. And that video is, please stop enabling Bobby Burns. When it comes to the Rewired Soul diagnosing people, or implying diagnosis, maybe I should say, he is not one to hold back. But in his Bobby Burns video, he went even further than that. Here is a montage that I made that hopefully you guys will be able to see and understand of all of the relative clips from the Please Stop Enabling Bobby Burns video. And it's a segment that I like to call Not Diagnosing by the Rewired Soul. Check it out.
He posted a picture of him like kind of bruised up and he said that he got into a car accident. His mental health is deteriorating. Like a week or 2 weeks ago, he did a video and it was sponsored by BetterHelp, and he says that he uses the service. And here's my thoughts on it. Okay, with all the BetterHelp hoopla going on, here's my thoughts on it. Either A, he's not really using BetterHelp and working with a therapist, or B, he is, but he's just not listening to his therapist. After Bobby posted that, he got a lot of hate and he just made a new video, which I'll show you right now.
Yo, so I just wanted to hop on here and say shout out to all the people who are so angry at me for breaking Shane's Jeep. I got in a car wreck. Y'all guys are acting childish as I got in a car wreck. It's the first car wreck I've ever been in my entire life. I was completely sober. I was close to dying today. And all anyone gives a shit about is the fact that a car that another YouTuber bought me was damaged. That's f***ed.
Hey, I'm glad you're alive, but you need to straighten up, all right? Like, it's both of those things. Like, one of the things that Bobby mentioned in his video was that he was sober, and I call bull on that. I call so much bull. Like, are you serious? And the fact that people are going to pretend like he was. Okay, so in case you don't follow Bobby Burns on Instagram, the only thing he's been posting about for a while now is getting high. And let's not forget his Instagram story showing us what happened before his accident. I would argue, if I was on the opposite side of this, I would say, okay, well, those Instagram stories are pretty far apart. He might have sobered up. But this is somebody who is perpetually getting messed up and under the influence, and we're supposed to believe that when he got in a car accident, this was the one time he was sober. Like, that is being willfully ignorant.
Okay, so who is this guy who has got 0 credentials going round diagnosing, semi-diagnosing, implying diagnosis on people? Like, who is he?
Well, let's take a closer look at Chris and his credentials, and the bigger question that's posed, his ethics.
Watch how you talk to them.
That was one of the best things, is that I wasn't like a licensed therapist. I could say whatever. And the same thing on my YouTube channel. Like, everybody's like, what are your credentials? I'm like, bitch, I don't got none. I can say whatever the I want, and you can do whatever you want with that information.
Right.
It is so nice. I am living the dream.
So, you mean to tell me that Chris has 0 credentials, 0 qualifications? As in, we are talking that he has less qualifications than Peter Mon, the acupuncture specialist that we found out, if you remember my Peter Mon video, we found out was a paid-for course that you could take for less than $500 with a certification at the end. You are telling me, my babes, that the Rewired Soul has no credentials? So you're telling me that my unborn fetus that is kicking me like crazy right now has got the same levels of qualifications at this very moment in time as Chris Boutte? Right, gotcha, bet. But at this moment in time, I will note that the Rewired Soul is on his way to becoming a counsellor, just like our good old favourite Judy, Peter Mon. And just like Mr. Mon, he is looking to gain a CADC, which is a certification in alcohol and drugs counselling. This in no way means that he is going to be a psychologist, have any kind of relationship or any kind of jurisdiction when it comes to talking about psychology or mental health or the brain or anything of that nature. What it does mean that he can continue to share his mindfulness techniques and also be a counsel for people who are dealing with drug and alcohol addiction. By now, pretty much everybody should be aware that the Rewired Soul was also selling courses online on his Teachable website, the rewiredsoul.teachable.com. And if you have a look, the earliest date that we can get on the Wayback Machine is on the 25th of July 2017. If you actually have a look at that period of time, you will see that his course for his, I think it's one of his courses, I can't remember which one it is, the disease of addiction and mindfulness and how help you recover, that was priced at $25. Then obviously we're aware that he started growing in popularity, and suddenly, shortly, you will see that he actually shoots up the price for that particular course. So that course ends up then going for $100 a piece, and I think with all the extras and all that kind of stuff, it ended up working out at about $118 for this course. Obviously the inflation of price was based on, I'm imagining, was based on him being more popular and thinking that his time was worth more, but obviously if it's the same course there should be no inflation. Obviously the next dates that you're about to see now are going to be in 2018, and that's when he reduced his price once again down to $25, and now these courses have actually been made free since that point. So he's been playing around with these figures and numbers and all that kind of stuff. I do believe the intention of his channel, from what I've heard from Elle Loves Tea's video, I do believe the intention of his channel was supposed to be to sell these courses. So the course came first before the channel, which I hope kind of like puts in a decent mindset of where his head was at. I think it's important to note that he was intending to do some of these courses alongside his mother, who is the licensed clinician, but the course came first before anything else. Like the chicken and the egg, I guess. The Rewired Soul, sweetie, having a mummy that works as a licensed clinician does not in any way mean that you, by proxy of your mummy, have any kind of credentials in that area. The same way that Dr. Larry Mon, being a physician, does not in any way make Peter Mon a licensed psychotherapist. I hope we get this clear in 2019, because I think it's just, woo, You're just going over people's heads, bitch. Although, I must note that Love's team made an amazing video questioning the credentials and the time frames of which she gained those credentials of Chris Boutte's mother. If you want to check out that information, definitely go through it, but that's not something I'm willing to delve into. Not today, honey. Not today.
Not today.
A lot of people have wanted me to talk about the similarities between Peter Mon and the Rewired Soul. Now, besides the aforementioned things that I've already mentioned between the two, I actually have nothing to say. In fact, I'm going to say something extremely positive about Peter Mon. I know. Slow your roll. Calm down. Calm down. Yeah, just suck it in, bitch. Peter Mon is extremely clear about the fact that he is a drama channel. He may have blurred the lines in the past when it came to what his credentials really were. However, when it came to his channel, he made a very clear line and distinction between what he did on his channel and what he did as work for outside of YouTube. And I think that's something that the Rewired Soul could possibly take as a teachable moment from Mr. Mon. Keep it clear, keep the lines defined. But no, Peter Mon does not bring that to his channel. Whereas the Rewired Soul rebukes himself as a drama channel. However, he is pretty much a commentator on influencer drama, which then he turns into a mental health thing and talks about how we can better improve our mental health through watching these people and being aware of the signs. That sounds like a drama channel to me, but hey, what do I know? What do I know? The problem I have with this is that I feel like it's a public intervention. And when I say that, I mean this. Usually when an intervention happens, it is in a secure environment where the individual is surrounded by family, friends, or peers and knows that they are loved and they are cared for. And the reason that this intervention is happening and they are getting some cold, hard truth and facts is because they love them and they want to see them succeed. So it's very important that when an intervention takes place, that the person has a support network right behind them. So imagine on the flip side that you are an influencer and you have had this extremely public intervention between the Rewired Soul and the rest of his subscribers. Now, the Rewired Soul is conducting these very public interventions without actually knowing the support network that the influencer or individual may have behind them. I mean, take for instance his relationship that he had with Bobby Burns. Bobby Burns is all the way out in Cali. We know that his family and friends and people that he's close with are back in Buffalo. So pretty much, if he was in the wrong place at the wrong time to deal with that, this very public intervention could have made this person spiral into an even worse condition with their mental health than they even started off in.
I don't want people to know my current mental health state. Yep. When people are constantly commenting about how bad your mental health is, when you're doing okay, it makes you feel worse. Yep. It makes your mental health worse. It makes you constantly question, wait, what am I doing? Am I showing that I'm depressed today in my eyes? Yeah.
And worse yet, are they actually going to have the strength or the tools to be able to facilitate recovery? I don't know they actually will. So I don't believe that YouTube is the place to discuss behavioural issues, mental health issues and patterns and so forth that might be on a level that is far bigger than the YouTuber's personal narrative. I agree that a discussion is needed and is definitely useful, but we don't have to put faces to diagnoses, if you get what I mean. A few of you guys from Twitter will know that when I was researching the Rewired Soul, I decided to go in deep. I had actually filmed a video on the 17th of January that I decided not to release, purely because I felt like I was being somewhat coached by the Rewired Soul on how to conduct my video, and I don't know, it just didn't feel authentic or anything like that. And plus, at the time, it was surrounding the whole Trisha Paytas and the Rewired Soul situation where she blew it out of proportion. But because nobody at that point was really turning around and saying that the Rewired Soul was a trash human, even though I felt it in my bones, I was scared to put that opinion out and seem like I was white knighting for Trisha because I am so much of a fan. Anyway, here's a clip from the video so you know that I'm not lying. Take a look. So when he is speaking about a bigger topic, I'm like, how do those people who don't have the resources for therapy deal with these kind of situations? There's probably a lot of people who don't have the resources for therapy who are looking to people like him to provide them with the answers they need. But I don't know whether YouTubers are the base point for those answers. I truly believe that those answers have to be done on an individual case-to-case basis and when people are looking or are seeking for those answers. Because I don't know how I'd feel about being semi-diagnosed on the internet by somebody that I don't know, who doesn't know my life, who only sees a tiny portion of the person that I am. Because we all know that as individuals, what we present to the world might not be all of who we are. I know that's true for myself. After letting that video collect dust, I then went on to see a couple of days later Primink's video on the Rewired soul and his thoughts on his channel and the content. And I was just like, oh my god, there is somebody else who feels exactly the same way that I feel. I'm not crazy.
On the surface, the Rewired soul, or Chris, seems to be a good channel doing some great things for the community and mental health awareness, and he's got a good chunk of supporters. But the more I saw of Chris, the more I started to see a lot of problems and questionable things rise up, and I'm starting to question if he's really a mental health activist or just some guy trying to make a quick buck.
Well, in less than 24 hours, serial uploader The Rewired Soul made a response to Primink's video. And when he did, he made sure to point out the fine details of this video that may not have been so accurate.
So I just finished watching Primink's video about yours truly, and I can't tell if he's either A, a hypocrite, B, purposely manipulating you, or C, ignorant because he doesn't do the proper research. But hey, I'm an optimist, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick C.
And he in fact went on to state that his critique was not valid purely because he had not done his research.
Today's theme: criticism versus invalid criticism. Primink would have known that had he actually clicked on these videos, watched them, and did the proper research. Which Primink would have known had he done his research. But Primink would have known that if he actually watched the video and did some research. So Primink probably would have known that if he checked it out and did his research. But Primink would have known about that clip if he did his research. Primink, you have to do your research if you want to make valid criticisms. And Primink would have known this had he done his research. But Primink would know all of these things about me had he did his research. And Primink probably would have known this if, you guessed it, if he would have done his research. But that might be because he didn't properly do his research. There's criticism, and then there's invalid criticism due to a lack of research.
I honestly wish I was exaggerating the amount of times that he said that particular sentence. But no, he rode that horse all the way home. To a point that there was no way that you would be leaving that video without thinking that Primink did not do his research. It's actually a very smart technique called anaphoria. Basically, it's a way of repeating key phrases until it sticks in a person's head. If you're a conspiracy theorist like me and you're into mind control and MK Ultra, you will know that it's commonly used as part of their practice in those kind of mind control environments. But if you're the average Petty Paige fan, then think about it like the slogans that are used in politic campaigns, such as "Yes We Can" by Obama, "Make America Great Again" by Trump, "We Will Fight Them on the Beaches" by Winston Churchill, "I Have a Dream" by Martin Luther King, and even a one-word repetitive anaphoria that was used by Tony Blair in his campaign, "Education, education, education." These world leaders explored this specific technique in order to make sure that the most important part of their campaign gets stuck in the person's head. And I personally believe that that technique is being used by the Rewired Soul in this instance, in his response to Primink, because I feel like it was overdone. It was said way too many times in such a short amount of time. So I knew with that manipulation tactic in full force that I would have to go above and beyond and do some seriously deep digging. Because I will be damned if he turns round and plays me like that and tells me I haven't done my research. So over the past 2 months, I have paid into his Patreon. Honestly, there is absolutely nothing to report there. It is boring as hell. The tiers are okay, I guess, but there is nothing to report on his Patreon. But I did, however, read all 3 of his books at the detriment of not actually reading my birthing books. And it was at that point that I began to realise that the man with the Messiah complex needs to practice what he preaches. So his books are basically like his life story. I would say they were more like autobiographies of his life and how he overcame addiction, yada yada yada. For instance, his book, Hope, How I Overcame Depression and Anxiety and Addiction and How You Can Too. It's basically him talking about himself in the majority of the book, in the majority of the chapters. And when you get to the part where he talks about mindfulness and how that changed his life and applying mindfulness techniques, you legitimately get these 3 pages. I shit you not. I would not say that this was a helpful book. I'm currently listening to hypnobirthing audiobooks at the moment because I want to have like a natural birth and like be one with nature. And hypnobirthing is basically a lot of mindfulness techniques and a lot of meditation, etc. Changing the way you view certain things in labor, as well as being very much present and at one with your body. Basically to prepare yourself for a, I don't like to use this word anymore because I'm trying to practice hypnobirthing, but what can be a very long and very painful labor. Mindfulness and meditation practices really do work if you apply those techniques, but if you're looking to apply those techniques, you would have to find a whole ass different book than the one that you just purchased from the Rewired Soul. You'd have to find that out yourself. He's literally just talking about himself until those 3 pages. The most helpful book, although possibly the most self-indulgent one, is the Rewire Your Anger book. And there is one excerpt from the book that I actually want to share with you guys, which is about picking your battles, which I found so ironic because the Rewired Soul does not pick his battles very wisely. As the influencers that he constantly implies diagnosis to don't want or wish to be the center of a mental health discussion that is bigger than their personal narratives. He mentions in this book a series of 3 questions that he asks himself before saying or doing anything. And now I know this must be a goddamn lie because he has definitely not done it the entire time throughout his YouTube career. And those 3 questions are, does it need to be said? Does it need to be said right now? And does it need to be said by me? There are legit so many excerpts that I could possibly take from his books, but in the efforts of keeping this video as short as possible, as I know it's already going to be long, I'm just going to leave it there. I might give you an extra excerpt towards the end, who knows, something a little bit juicy. But just remember that even the best disciples need to read the Bible. There have been so many channels that have spoken up about the Rewired Soul besides the commentary and the drama channels. Most notably, there is Leaf E. Greens, there is Bipolar Corner, and there is also a Mumsy Musings or my dear friend Josephine. Now, I'm not about to go into super duper detail, but Chris loves to gaslight naysayers publicly. One instance of him doing this to 3 separate naysayers, the aforementioned Mumsy Musings, Leafy Greens, and Bipolar Corner, he did this on the 21st of February on a channel called Unsolicited Advice. I love that name because that's pretty much all you're gonna get with Chris is unsolicited advice. 10 points for irony on that one, sir. You did the damn thing. But first, before we delve into that, let's take a look at gaslighting and what that means. So basically, in a few words, gaslighting means manipulating somebody by psychological means so they start to doubt themselves, their beliefs, and their belief system. In this stream with fellow content creator Matt from Create You TV, who at the time was hosting, he asked Chris about all the drama surrounding his channel and his naysayers. First of all, he speaks of Josephine. Josephine is a Mumsy Musings and has become one of my close dear friends and was actually in fact at my wedding, and she made some extremely fair and valid points in her video. Take a look.
Now I want to start off by saying I am not dragging Chris, I am not hating on Chris. I've just got a few criticisms that I would like to raise As someone that works in mental health, someone that's trained in mental health, someone that lives with a multitude of mental health conditions, I do spot that there are a few things that Chris could work on his channel, you know, and if he is not told, he will not realise this. And hopefully Chris is watching these videos, taking on board what is said, soaking it up like a sponge, and then using that information to better his channel and his career on social media.
She starts by pointing out that her video is just here to help Chris and maybe give him some better understanding from somebody who works within the mental health profession, and not to bring any kind of hate or dismay towards him.
I came across another video on ADHD and doing these questions of lying to self-diagnose and so forth, and any professional that is worth their weight in gold will tell you these self-diagnosis type of questionnaires are terrible. They are terrible for someone's health mentally and physically. They might be good for bridging that gap to you approaching your doctor or your GP and saying, look, I've done this, it says this, can I talk to you about it? Which is fantastic, but self-diagnosis and self-diagnosing is like the Black Plague in mental health. It is a big problem.
Then she goes on to speak about a video of his that she's seen where he is talking about ADHD and its symptoms. And then he went on to take an online test of some kind to see if he had symptoms of ADHD. Now, I am not a medical professional, but I am an ambulance dispatcher, and I cannot tell you how strongly the NHS severely, strongly does not recommend self-diagnosis on the internet. Do not go onto WebMD searching your common cold and then come back out and find out that you've got leprosy, okay? It happens way more than you would think. However, you can search certain symptoms to see if it is something that needs to be attended to. For instance, if you were showing symptoms or signs of a stroke or something that we would consider fast positive within the NHS, then call an ambulance, bitch, before you die, okay? But it's definitely not good to try and self-diagnose yourself on the internet, especially when it comes to mental health and something on a mental health capacity. My friend Josephine of Mumsy Musings, not only does she work in the mental health profession, but she also has two beautiful boys, one that has ADHD and the other one who is autistic. She is very familiar with ADHD and autism and the symptoms surrounding it because she has to live, eat, sleep, shit that every single day, being not only the breadwinner for her two boys, but also being the caregiver to both of her two boys. But lo and behold, the Rewired soul came along to gaslight in the stream. Take a look.
If this guy only talked the way I wanted him to talk,
yes,
then he would be
yes,
fun.
yes.
And think about, and no offense, Josephine, if you ever watch this, but no offense, but like how, like something I have to ask myself is, how fucking selfish is that?
Right.
I want you to change who you are,
right,
so I feel more comfortable. So another thing that Josephine talked about at about the 8-minute mark, she says that I'm promoting self-diagnosis. The fuck I am,
dude. What a wild statement! But it was because you. She said that you had taken a test or something, and it was like a BPT test or some bullshit,
no,
right?
ADHD test. What ended up happening with Josephine's video is something called Gish Gallop. I wanted to use that term. Yeah. Pull that on the screen.
All right.
So Gish Gallop, for those of you who don't know, and this is why I hate having to defend myself, and I pick and choose which points I want to talk about, is because of this thing called Gish Gallop. For those of you who don't know what Gish Gallop is, this is a technique people might use against you. They will throw and hit you with so many half-truths that you either A, have to take so much time to dissect each one,
right,
or B, just let people believe they're right, because I choose to step away from certain things, because they said so many false things that if I keep responding, I just look like I'm being defensive.
Correct. There's no, it's a completely unwinnable situation for you.
And the second person that we're going to talk about is a woman by the name of Leaf E. Greens. She is a woman who has been diagnosed with BPD, also known as borderline personality disorder, and she feels as if this is an incorrect diagnosis. She expresses this frequently on her channel, but without missing a beat, Chris goes ahead and diagnoses her publicly on that stream with BPD. Something that she takes major offense to, which he would know if he had, you guessed it, done his research.
You guessed it, if he would have done his research.
We've got, for everybody who's actually watching, we've actually got Leafy up there. We're giving her some promotion. You should go check her out, all that good stuff, you know. Say hello. Say hello.
I think she has BPD.
Now, I could spend forever talking about BPD and how it is frequently misdiagnosed and how it somewhat becomes a dismissive label to place on a lot of people, allowing mental health practitioners and general practitioners to neglect their patients who have been diagnosed with BPD. But I am not a licensed professional, and that is not a rabbit hole I care to go down today. That is a whole nother video. However, if somebody states that they have been misdiagnosed or feels as if that they have been misdiagnosed, then it's common courtesy. No. In fact, it is human decency just to respect their boundaries and not use that label.
Wow. Oh my God, Chris. You cracked the fucking code. Leafy Greens has BPD, according to Chris Booty, aka the Rewired Soul, an unlicensed mental health advice giver and gaslighter. Wow. Thank you so much, Chris, for this incredibly enlightening video about my own mental health problems and your interpretations of me and my channel. I am blown away by the stupidity I just witnessed.
How many times do I have to say that I am not a drama channel?
Now, for the finale. Chris states that he isn't a drama channel. To be honest, a lot of people put that label on him, but personally speaking, I could really give a crap whether he decides to call himself a drama channel or not. Who cares?
Like I said, I really liked him, but the more and more videos I saw, I started to notice that his channel isn't really about mental health or being an advocate for it, and it's more about gossip and drama in the YouTuber community.
I think personally, because he speaks about a diverse range of YouTubers and influencers on his channel, I would classify him as a commentary channel rather than a drama channel per se. However, being a drama channel myself, to me, it's more about who you associate with. I could literally go 5 whole entire months without making a single video on a beauty influencer, but because the people I associate via social media publicly is Dustin Daly, Nick Schneider, Ashley Kyle, Rich Lux, T-Spill, etc, etc, you all kind of get lumped in that same community together. Chris's associations and public interactions with drama channels is essentially what has given him that label, in my opinion. A label of which he resents because in the wake of dramas that have happened between drama channels such as Here for the Tea and John Cookian, or even my own personal beefs with Here for the Tea, we have all been labelled as like self-eating, cannibalistic channels who eat ourselves and the beauty community alive. So after stating that he isn't a drama channel over and over and over again, when all the tea came out that all of the drama channels, myself included, were coerced somewhat into trying to make Trisha Paytas videos in the way of which he wanted it to be made, he makes his most random video so far. Why I'm leaving the drama community.
But anyways, here's a little backstory of how I got involved in this community in the first place. I made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos and they weren't really getting any views. I wanted to get this message out there to teach people about mental health, the importance of mental health, raise awareness, all sorts of things. And my message really wasn't going out there. And then my beautiful girlfriend Tristan and her friend Shelby, they are heavily involved in like all the makeup gurus and like the gossip and drama that goes around it. And they were showing me videos and I'm like, oh my God. Like there's a lot of problems and no solutions being talked about, right?
That was super duper surprising to everybody because frequently he has prefaced that he is not a drama channel. So how you finna leave a community that you were never a part of?
It's surprising but not surprising. Like I've pulled in the drama community. Like that is the market, if you will, of people who I was grabbing the attention from. There's probably gonna be some videos coming out and like that's one of the many reasons why I'm not I don't want anything to do with the drama community anymore.
And then a few hours later, he makes yet another random video with his cat.
Who are you? Howdy, partner. I'm the sheriff round these parts, Wyatt Earp. And I heard you've been stirring up some problems in our here drama community. I'm sorry, Sheriff, I didn't mean any harm. I was just trying to take the drama that people were already watching and try to give them some solutions. You see, round here, we like to talk about the problem and stay in the problem. So get. I said get. No, Chris, don't leave us. I'm sorry, ma'am. But I'm clearly not wanted here. But Chris, you've helped so many people. I know, but sadly, I'm not qualified and I've caused way too much of a ruckus in this community. So I best be on my way and go find another community that might want my help. I love you, Chris.
Bro, that weren't even funny. So then, after simultaneously blocking the entire drama community that he was never a part of, he then continued to stir drama with this very terrible parody. But then, later on today, Chris went back to exactly what it is that he does best, which is, you've guessed it, gaslighting.
Again, this is a very serious video, all right? This chain of events was started by the viewer's voice, Dustin Daly, Ashley Kyle, and I'm assuming Petty Paige is about to get started, okay? And I can handle this, but here's what we're gonna talk about. Siren Cove took offense to a tweet I sent out about leaving this toxic community, and this is exactly what I mean. People have, in the last week, with all this going on, people have reached out and messaged my girlfriend trying to pretend they were somebody I cheated on her with, all right? That's okay. Tristan's mental health is pretty good as well. She can deal with that. Now, channels are coming after my mother, okay? Somebody who has been working in the mental health field for 20 years, all right? And that's not okay. But here's what's even worse. People are now attacking those who I am associated with and threatening violence. One of my friends who made a video sticking up for me, they were threatening to kick her head in, all right? That's very serious. Another YouTuber who stuck up for me on Twitter, these are the DMs that she received. People are making fake accounts and doing this, threatening all sorts of things. Now, again, I can handle this. People have distanced themselves from me because of what's going on. I totally understand. But this is not okay. Not okay at all right? And again, the viewer's voice, Dustin Daly, and Ashley Kyle have started this chain of events, and it is now inciting violence.
So as you can imagine, I was absolutely stunned. This was very, very reminiscent to me of the whole situation when Peter Mon directly called out Rich Lux because he wasn't acting in the manner of which that he wanted him to act immediately. To assume the negativity that started long before the drama channels got involved, and that we are now somehow responsible for the abuse that you are getting is absolutely ludicrous to me. I call bullshit. If you want to go back to the origins of this whole entire situation, the origins started with Primink and his first video. If you really want to take it there, it started with Primink being braver than I ever was to stand up to you and your hypocrisy. It started with your behavior. It started with your gaslighting. Under no circumstances do I think that what is happening to you at this moment in time, if true, is acceptable. I don't. But for the amount of care that you claim to give others, you did not give one single F when in your extremely heavily moderated comments, might I add, somebody had left an extremely disgusting, distasteful post about my unborn child that has not even graced this planet yet. They left a very nasty, derogatory message where my child should not have been brought up into nothing that has been going up on social media. You, in your heavily moderated comments, decided to leave that, but then want to turn around and condemn the drama community and what we've been doing and us creating videos for being the cause of this kind of negativity that is causing people to lash out and be aggressive and be mean. No, sir, you caused this shit yourself. Take accountability for your goddamn actions, okay? Oh, and another thing, sweetie. Welcome to 100K, because this is what happens when you hit that barrier of YouTube.
Oh, my bad. Spoke too soon.
When you hit that level of notoriety, people just want to know everything about you and about your life. Every single day, I have somebody send me a message telling me what kind of coon, bitch, ass, whatever I am. People calling me every name under the sun, to the point that my ass has become so desensitized to that I just... water off a duck's back, bitch. I have even, since posting my gender reveal announcement video, had to delete a comment on my channel of somebody wishing ill will on my child. Already. So unfortunately, it's part of the territory. If you are a critique-based channel, prepare to get critiqued. If you are a critique-based channel, prepare to get hate, because there are going to be people who just don't agree with it. And it might not be fair, and you might think to yourself it's shit, and that people should be much nicer, but the internet is not kind, bitch. I had to learn that the hard way. You are having to learn that now. Take accountability for yourself. So the same way that I had to take accountability for my goddamn self, and stop blaming the gossip forums for all of the downfalls that were happening in my goddamn life, you have to take accountability for the things that you have said, for the things that you have done, that means that now you are in this predicament. Nobody put you here but you. And you are still at this very moment, to fucking apologize to a single person for any of your actions. You are blaming the world for problems that you have caused yourself. And as somebody who has gone through recovery in the goddamn way that you have, you should be very well aware, or use your mindfulness techniques to know that at this very moment, you need to have a come to Jesus moment, Messiah, and say, you know what? I'm sorry. I messed up. Hey, Leafy Green, I didn't mean to make you feel that way, and I'm sorry that I did. That's it. Josephine, I am sorry that I didn't listen to you in your approach. You were only trying to help me. Thank you. Hey, drama channels, I did not mean to completely shit all over your entire genre of YouTube. There is a place for you. It's just that I don't believe I belong or fit in your place. Continue to do you. I apologize. Trisha, I really apologize to you, and not because I now realize how it must feel for you to have gone through what I went through now, to have somebody make constant videos about me. But hey Trisha, I apologize for loosely diagnosing you on the internet and making you up for public scrutiny on a mental capacity. I was wrong. Sorry. Bobby Burns, I should not have implied that you were not sober at the wheel without relevant proof. Without me being able to say for a matter of fact that that is the truth. I'm sorry I implied that to my audience. You deserve better. I'm sorry. That is all it fucking takes. That is all it fucking takes. And if you could let your ego for 1 second just simmer down, take it down a couple of notches, then you would realize that all that people want for you is the goddamn best. That is the saddest part about it all. The saddest part about it all is that I don't hate you. In fact, I could give a shit about you, but I don't hate you. I actually want you to do better and be better. That is the saddest thing about it all. And there is something that you say on your channel all the goddamn time that I'm gonna say to you now as just a fellow influencer. If I am not offending you, then I have not done my job right. Woo! Feel like I need to rewire my anger, goddamn. In your Rewire Your Anger book, there is an amazing segment that you wrote in there about apologies. And in fact, I'd actually like to share that with my audience right now. And I want to share it with you so that you remember who the fuck you used to be. Apologizing is a necessity if we're looking to improve our mental health. You're reading this book because you want to be a better person. And one of the best things that you can do is to ensure that you go to sleep each night with a clear conscience. If you yelled at someone that day and felt bad about it, it's going to be hard to sleep guilt-free. Something that may help you with apologizing for your behavior is being selfish about it. What I mean is that you're apologizing for yourself and not for them. I know that I am trying to teach you to quit being so selfish, but trust me, people will like you a lot better for the selfish act of apologizing to feel better when you've been an asshole. It's a win-win situation.
Homework. Start apologising for your part in situations and see how many people end up apologising as well because you took responsibility and didn't point the finger back at them.
So, at this point, I'm asking you to apologise, to set yourself free. This whole nasty situation and predicament, the catalyst of which has been you, Chris Boutte. Therefore, for yourself, for your family, for your mother, for the people you love, say fucking sorry. And I promise you, it will be a lot better for you on the internet and whatever it is that you want to do. And maybe, just maybe, take a little bit of a look into the direction of your channel. The reason I say this is because through doing all of my research and looking at your entire archive of videos, I was able to go back and I found a video that I was expecting to be so fucking angry with. It's a video titled The Psychology of Black Oppression and Learned Helplessness and Depression. I'll be providing a little small commentary in between the segments I'm about to show you, just to follow the fair use laws and policies, and also to avoid a DMCA takedown, which I can imagine would happen at this point with the threats that have been thrown. But I genuinely feel like these two segments are important to watch in full. When I went into this video with you being a mixed race, white passing male, my instant judgment of this video was going to be, oh damn. Take a look.
So this is Martin Seligman, who is known for being the founder of positive psychology. Back in the 1960s, researchers in Seligman's lab were doing some studies on dogs. They were pairing a noise with electric shocks to eventually see how the dogs would react to just the bell alone. After these dogs were conditioned to associate the bell with a shock, they were put into a shuttle box that looked like this. One side would give a shock, and the other would be safe. The researchers predicted that when the dogs would hear the bell and feel the shock, they'd jump to the other side to safety, but they didn't. The dogs would simply curl up, hear the bell, and get shocked over and over again. The researchers thought that something must be wrong with the dogs, but Seligman realized what they just stumbled across, which was learned helplessness. The dogs were trained to believe that there was nothing, absolutely nothing they could do to possibly avoid the shock. So even though it was an easy jump to the other side, they just simply gave up. So after decades of studying human behavior, Seligman realized that he saw the same behaviors in humans as he had seen in dogs.
So as you can see thus far, he is talking about dogs in comparison to humans. Now you can imagine from a black person, a POC person's perspective, I was finna pop off like, bitch, really? For real? You're gonna dehumanize me and tell me I'm a dog? Bitch! But honestly, after I watched the following segment, I realized exactly what it was that he was talking about, and I agreed with him 100%. Watch the rest.
Researchers wanted to see how similar to dogs we actually were. So they took two groups of people and put them into separate rooms. In each room, they played a loud, annoying sound and told them by pushing the right sequence of buttons, the sound would turn off. The first group tried every single combination of buttons, but nothing stopped the noise. The second group had buttons that did turn off the noise. So the second part of this experiment is that they took both groups and put them into a brand new room. They could easily turn off the noise by simply waving their hand. So while the second group figured this out immediately, the first group didn't even bother moving because they had given up, much like the dogs did. The moral, when life gives us a shock or an annoying sound that we can't turn off, it is our nature to simply just give up. So what's the solution? First, I think as a culture, we need to start developing more empathy by understanding the psychology behind how the human brain actually works. Second, I think my man Killer Mike has a great solution to this problem.
The message that I preach to white kids that are in Tallahassee, that are in Atlanta, Georgia Tech, that are in places like New York, is get outside the college environment, find a child who is marginal or doing exceptional in school, who's a minority, who doesn't look like you, not of the same religion, not of the same background. Help that child matriculate into college. Help them by being a big brother or big sister. Help them by mentoring them. Don't give them gifts. Don't make yourself feel good like, hey, I gave them a new pair of sneakers. Teach them the path you were taught to help them become a successful human being. What you're going to get out of that experience is another human being that's taking full advantage of an educational system that can help them in their community. But more than that, it grows you as a human being to have empathy and apathy for someone who doesn't look like you, is culturally not from your background.
This right here is the Chris that I want to see. This is the Chris that I feel like we all need to see. The Chris with research and facts. The Chris that takes a look at the world but is empathetic to people's struggles. The Chris that I hope that by removing himself from the toxic drama community that we will see very soon. Because if this is the Chris that we are looking to see in the future, then I just might tune in.
Whilst creating this video, I have seen, obviously, that Chris is taking a mental health break, which I do think is a very good idea for him to do. And he put out 4 separate videos, one apologising to the mental health community, the other one apologising to his fellow YouTube creators, and the other one apologising to the drama community, and obviously the final one telling people why he was taking a break. I honestly think that this guy is a serial uploader. I don't know whether this is me being hypercritical. You guys can tell me exactly what you feel, but just simply by the fact that these videos that could have been put into one entire video were split up into 4 segments just screams money hungry to me. Like, if he's gonna leave, he's still gonna collect that coin, you know what I mean? There was something extremely insincere about the way he did this and the way he's handling things. I think because a lot of people are now becoming aware and becoming wise by unsubscribing, etc., he's beginning to realize that people aren't buying his bullshit anymore. So for me, these apologies aren't enough. Maybe I am being hypercritical, but if he does come back, I would love to see him make an entire video addressing and apologising to the individual members. And also, just for me, for my drama community, I think it would be very important for him to make sure that he addresses Ashley Kyle, make sure that he addresses Dustin Daly, make sure that he addresses Nick Schneider, and apologises to them individually. Now, I have actually received an apology from Chris. He reached out to me in the DMs. This is what he said, and I'll show you now. So it reads, Paige, I'm reaching out to apologise. My intention was never to come across as manipulative. I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry. That's the message that I received yesterday. I have not replied to that message as I felt like it was just the most naff apology that anyone could ever possibly receive. I'm saying that because after watching one of his most recent live streams, where he was asking people to ask him questions in relation to some of his most recent controversies, he actually said the following.
I'm the type of guy, like, do you ever have that, do you have that guy in your friend group or woman in your friend group who just like copies and pastes stuff and they send it to like 5 people? Like, that's who I am, and that's who I've always been, all right?
Okay, so for me personally, when you post up on Twitter something like this about privately reaching out to multiple content creators, there's going to be a part of me, especially when it's such a very lackluster apology that I received, there's going to be a part of me that's going to be like, well, was that for me, or did we all receive the same message? Like, show me something to make me know that it's real, you know what I mean? And I just kind of was like, oh, well, this is a bit crap, and I bet he's copied and pasted that to all the rest of the drama channels. The same way that he did all those weeks ago when he was trying to get everyone to talk about Trisha Paytas. So for me, it's a lackluster apology for me personally, and it's a lackluster apology that he's posted on social media. So I hope that when he does come back after his week or 2 weeks, depending on how long it is he decides to go away for, to obviously look after his mental health and sobriety, I hope that when he comes back, he actually apologises properly and with gusto. I want to be able to see him actually properly apologise to the individuals involved. I don't really care about getting an apology. For me, I don't care. But, I mean, I guess my fellow content creators would give a shit. So apologise efficiently, and I'm sure it'll all go away. Well, I hope anyway.
Thank you guys for watching this entire video. It has been a long one, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching it, and I hope some of you guys stayed and watched the whole goddamn thing in full. There are various parts that I could have delved into that I don't want to delve into, or that I think that somebody else is going to do a way better job of explaining, such as the Islamophobic messages and jokes that were found by T by Ali. She's going to be doing a huge expose on that, so if you guys are interested, I will definitely link her channel down below so that you guys can watch that as well. I want to give a massive thank you to the girls on Guru Gossip who have been helping me with this story, as well as the Petty Bureau of Investigation and some people that I'm assuming want to remain anonymous, who were able to provide receipts when I did not have such receipts, and also finding the suddenly deleted videos that I needed. But that is about it. This has been my YouTuber version of the Messiah Complex. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and until next time, bye.